Such heroic nonsense.
Hello and good evening, everyone. This is Ultra Pittus, and welcome to a Such Heroic Nonsense production of tonight's Late Night War Lab. There's been a lot of chat, certainly in my alliance in Prime Nemesis, recently about front-loaded bases. I know that there is also a lot of chat around is Gears-Quake the solution to this sort of high-pressure problem, and the answer to that is partially. There are many other bots to choose from, many other strategies that you could use to pick from. And what I thought I'd do tonight is link up to my, hey, Big OP8, hey Ashbourne, how you doing? Yeah, sorry about the big wait. I was just cocking around with, with the OBS software. Still getting used to it. I will get better, sorry. What I was saying was partially the answer is Gears, Quake. Yes, they are front-loaded base killers. Partially the answer is different strategies with different bots and different synergies. What I wanted to do tonight was show you using my playtest account. I am honoured to have been invited to be a playtester recently. I'm still getting used to that whole world and that whole setup. But what it does grant me is the ability to use that power and use that resource to show all of you guys who are out in the community of Transformers Earth Wars what can be done when you have no restrictions. Now, I'm not going to use it from the point of view of boosting my own ego. It's big enough already. But what I am going to use it for is to try and really push the boundaries of what we'd all like to do if we had that unlimited resource. Unfortunately, I've cocked it up and I've managed to make it so that the account that I've got on my iPad is got absolutely nothing. So I've got to wait for tomorrow to talk to the team about what on earth I've done to have cocked that up quite so royally. So what we're going to do instead is use my account. We're going to run against a couple of my alliance mates. I have not asked them if it's okay for me to do this. But I'm hoping that they take it as a mark of respect that I've chosen their bases to demonstrate A, just how hard this challenge can be, and B, just an example of what an amazing front-loaded base can look like. Because in the Alliance we've got some extremely competent top-level players that I am only even beginning to start getting into the same sort of leagues as. So, without further ado, you don't need to see me anymore. What you do need to do is see the iPad. And I am just going to have to very quickly move that so that we've got the actual iPad on the screen. Here we go. Right, so I'll put myself in the window, just a second, and then we'll get on with this business. Just bear with me. And we'll do that. Right, so this is my new base. Over the weekend, great little fun, nice and low pressure. Managed to pick up a couple of prime cores. I had some prime shards sat in the cooker, waiting for the iPad sound down a bit and make sure that I do not have any of the sound effects and music on, which I do. I'm just going to take that off so I don't deafen you all with all that music. So I've managed to pick up my last remaining prime cores now, which I'm now sort of strategically placing around the base and slowly growing up. But what we are here to do tonight is look at front-loaded bases. And front-loaded bases, we are going to need to go to some of the members of my alliance. So this is Buster's base. This is an extraordinarily strong front-loaded base, as you can see. What we are going to do is take a run at it with some of my top teams. We're going to get one of my combiners online, but we're going to take a bit of time in reconnaissance just now to see how I would go about trying to defeat this base and how, yeah, thanks big OP. Yeah, I forgot to turn it off the iPad, buddy. So, big salute to Buster. Mate, I apologise in advance to you for not asking you if it was okay for me to do this first. I will do that in the future, but I'm hoping you take it as a mark of respect. So what have we got? We've got a whole bunch of spider mines at the front, which means any team that you drop for a sort of Charge of the Light Brigade style attack is going to get wiped out in front of that. And let me show you what that would look like. So we are just going to run straight into this. Just by way of playtesting, I'm going to show you what would happen if we just put any random bot right in front of this. So not only is the outpost going to pop, we're going to get a small battalion of spider mines coming right to us. Now what Rook's done there is he's used his special ability, or rather his shield run ability, to drop a drone in there. But as you can see, aside from all of the incoming from the base, you've got a massive amount of spider bots that have come out that a shield run drone is only just going to take out. Imagine you've got all 6 of those spider drones coming straight at you right from the off. It's going to vampire your health straight away. So I'm just being told that I'm bad because my voice is coming through my daughter's Alexa, which is not great.
But Prime, I'm just a soldier. I'm not worthy.
So we're going to go back to Buster, and we're just going to have a look at how we can do that better. So we've got the spider mines at the front. That's a problem. We've got all sorts of things that want to kill us right up front. And if we're in a military context, what I would be saying is this is all about the OODA loop. So observe, orientate, decide, and act. These are the things that any human does. You do it when you go shopping. You do it when you book a holiday. You do it, when you're in the bar or in the pub or in the club or wherever you go to. You do it if you're playing sport. You observe, you orientate, you decide, and you act. There are time periods between each of those things. This is called the OODA loop, if anybody wants to look at it. Written by an American pilot from the Vietnam era called John Boyd. All human decision-making broadly corresponds to the OODA loop. There are lots of other things in there, but what this type of base is designed to do is put you under immediate pressure. It's what, again, in the service I would have called a VUCA environment, so volatile, uncertain, chaotic. It's basically base blitzkrieg. So the minute you put something down, it's going to really come at you. You've also got the biner right here, and in this case, you've got outpost bots here, 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 and then probably some. Where are the others? No, I've got one more there. So you've got a whole heap of pain coming into your world straight away. You're quite right, mate. You've got Liege right there. You could put one in the middle and then rush him in. Let's try that. I'll show you what that looks like. So my Grimlock has got a Liege core on him. He's carrying J's. He's maxed out General. So he's very survivable. So you can see there, that is his loadout. So what you could do is rush Grimlock in to pop all of those outposts and then draw them in and go for a rush. So let's try that. This is just on an easy setting. I'm doing it with no biner. We're going to get smashed by the spider mines and potentially a flare mine. So let's just drop him there. Let's rush him in. He's going to take loads of pain. Now that's Transmetal Megatron just there. who's probably carrying like a Forge of Solus Prime. Let's just rush him over here to get everything triggered. So we're going to trigger that Biner. You can see Grimlock. Grimlock can take an awful lot of pain, but he's going to struggle here. And you've got Flare Mines there that are preventing me from using his special ability to bring him back to life. So we've got now all of those outpost bots up. They're all fighting each other at the moment because they're being hacked. So what we could always do now is just go for a charge of the Light Brigade sort of situation. What I've tried in the past is using that kind of air raid situation just to try and bring this back. We can stun a little bit with Tazzy, but as you can see, it's pretty difficult because you've got some fairly squishy bots in this scenario. I mean, there's probably some stuff that we can do, but as well, the reason all the resources are at the back here is to bleed you of ability points. So I'm already down to 4. I can use my Smokey, but he's not going to do too much. The most effective thing I could probably do is use my Wheeljack to up everybody's DPS and speed for a little while. Use the art. They're still going to have to advance on that MDS. So they are all going to die imminently. I would be amazed if they didn't. We can drop Megatronus in here. We can maybe try and get some residual damage from an air raid here because it looks like that's going to pop pretty soon. And who knows, they might just do it. I know that Buster's Biner is not up at the moment, so it's not really a fair representation to him of what's going to happen. It looks like, actually, my bots are going to do this. There we go. Boom. So that was an easy run, not a hard run. So let's go to a different base, and I'll show you what else we could do. So I'm going to go down to Grimlock's Brain, who's a good mate in the Alliance. How are you, buddy? Yeah, so this is Grimlock's Brain's base. It's what I would call kind of front-loaded minus, in that he's stretched it out for the width of the kind of battle scenario. You've still got all that rear loading of all the juicy goodness that will give you ability points. And what I would say is, if you know that you're facing a base like this with all of the ability points at the back, make sure the battle boost that you take is something that will allow you to knock out some of those, so that you can then use those points when the shit really starts hitting the fan. Is what I'm saying there. So here again, you've got those front-loaded spider mines, some on the periphery as well. He's done that to try and cover himself, depending on whether or not you go full frontal or flank, left or right. What we're going to do in this instance is we're going to go to a flank, and I'm going to show you how gears can be an absolute devastating presence. And I'm going to try and pretty much solo it with gears and Megatronus. Yeah, so we're going for a hard battle on this. I'm not going to take a combiner. That's my stand-in war squad. I'm going to leave Taz off because I don't think we're going to need him on this. Let's go.
That's too dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, so here is the tactic on this. The thing that will kill gears are the missile launchers. So if you've got missile launchers in proximity, particularly missile launchers with target protocol on, then they're going to give him a face full of missiles really, really fast. So if you are in range of that missile silo when you drop gears or quake, this is the thing that you want to target pretty much straight away. In this instance, we've got one here, one there, one up in the high north, and that is a lot for missile launchers. Classically, he's done exactly what he should do. So he's got the Megatronus MDS. I would imagine he's got his Quintus on that one. Amalgamus. Onyx. Not quite got the icons right yet. So let me show you how this can play out. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick gears on the far extreme of the launch pad, and I like to take it from the Megatronus side so that we can eventually hit that. So we're going to put him right there. Gears is running an Amalgamous core, so while he is in alt mode, he is going to start recovering from any hits that he takes. He's autonomously going to target various things, and if he's not got anything in range, he will target at distance. I've got Stylor on him, and as soon as you're in range of something else, let Gears eat it. He's not in range of those frontal spider mines just yet, but he will, again, autonomously take those out in a second. You're going to want to keep an eye on his health, because you might just want to deploy your Ratchet, your Wheeljack, your Minerva, your Retgar, just in case that starts going from sort of west to east. We're now going to target up here. Gears is quite good because you can fire pretty much in open ground, and whilst the glass gas might not affect something that would be useful, you are going to start hitting something because he will auto-target those things. As you can see, he started targeting things a bit closer to the front, but now we are zoning in on that MDS. Because there isn't an OP close by, he's getting a bit of a clean run at this. The only thing to worry is that missile silo, but as you can see, the MDS and various other things are almost dead and gone. We're pretty much cleaning the base out. The only thing is now that we're going to be worrying about is ability points. So this is what I mean about the battle boosts. So I'm now going to smash these, and we're back up to form with some battle boosts. Thing is, now Gears is going to have to get close enough to the HQ, which he is, to use his ability. He's triggered Megatron there, so I'm just going to drop Megatronus to absorb some pain, because we do not have enough ability points now to run at this. Gears is probably going to die imminently, so what I would now do is drop the rest of the squad. Probably do that before Gears died, actually, if I wasn't gobbing off and talking to you guys. But what I'm now just going to do is try and kill that base as fast as possible before Galvatronus sort of creams me, as it were. And I'm just going to kill that. Also just going to give the guys a bit of a wheeljack sort of situation, and I'm going to sprint Grimlock, which I wouldn't normally do, but I'm going to sprint him up to there because I think the rest of the bots can probably take Galvatronus, but I want him to delay that Demolisher, which he's done, and now he's hacked Demolisher because he's got Liege on him, which is pretty good. Yeah, I'll try the Anubis base as well. Is that what you're asking me, Ashbourne? You want me to run at that base, buddy? Cool. So you can see there, done with no biner, on hard mode, pretty much killing it with Gears. Now, there has been some chat in our alliance today on, have we bulked up Gears too much? Are people now, thinking that that is the silver bullet to a lot of things? I think the answer is, here's the silver bullet to quite a few things. I like using, mine is a maxed out general with Stylor on him and the Amalgamous. The Amalgamous is absolutely essential for him. I would use that over anybody else if you have it, and if you've just got it, max it out. And if you've got Gears, even at 4-star or 3-star, you could really start upping your war scores for the alliances you're in or your gaming more generally if you use him in the way that I've just shown you. He's also really good for clearing bases for a bit of Zen farming in particular. If you go to the far end of Zen farming levels and other resource farms. So let's just have another little run at another base. So we're going to do Grimlock's Brains base again, but we're going to try a different tactic. So just before where are you, Grimlock's Brain? There you are, mate. Just before I joined Prime Nemesis, I was in Prime Delta, and I didn't have Gears at all. Certainly not a 5-star. and I was just kind of put off him because he just looked like he'd be a bit wonky and a bit like a rectangle. But actually, as you can see, he's rock solid. And one of my teammates said, no, he's a stone cold killer. You need to get him on the front loads. What I was doing at that point was trying to find a way of getting into that OODA loop I was describing at the start, so that my decision and action was fast enough so that my bots could survive. And the way I discovered to do that was to try and use air raid and probably blue streak, also SG Jetfire, also brainstorm for the sort of air bomb, and then the initiator being blue streak or SG Jetfire, in order to clear out the danger quickly so that my bots could work. You could also do this with Rust Dust, Optimus, or Sunstreaker. I don't use Sunstreaker very much, but I know some of you use him like an absolute surgeon. So to do that though, you've got to beat the build bots. So you've got to kill the fire bots straight away. And my old mucker here, Grimlock's Brain, he's got 3 of them because he knows that's exactly what people could do. So for you to become effective in the destruction of Grimlock's Brain's base using a fire-based area bot like Rust Dust, like Smokescreen, like Optimal, you've got to expend time, range, which you just don't have, and ability points on killing all of those things with probably Smokescreen and your Arc or your Titan before you even get there. The likelihood is you're going to be dead before, long before then. So your area people are not going to work. So you then revert into things like skids. You're reverting to things that are going to give you a cryo effect, and that kind of wide area things. Skids would be potentially quite good here because he's got no acid cores. He does have EMP shock there. That's not anti-electricity though. So I did think I'd seen an electricity core, but no, they're FFDs. So you've got a lot of force field disruption as well, which is classic for a front-loaded base. So all of your protection is not going to work. All of your wide area is not going to work. But what we could do is take a run at it with Tazzy. So I am not a master of using Taz in this role, but let's give it a go. So I think what we do is we're going to drop a Pain Taker like Grimlock, and let's see what happens when we then use Taz.
Me, Grimlock, need new strategy.
Cool, so what I'm going to do is drop Grimlock to absorb the pain of those spider bots, then I'm going to drop Taz Kid behind him and try and stun things, but we've got the Biner there straight away, and some outpost bots, and a Onyx MDS. So there's quite a lot of things that we're going to need to do concurrently there to make this workable. So I'm going to try and go into bullet time to show you what I'm going to do, but here we go. So full frontal, we're going to do Grimlock, we're going to do Taz, kick that, then I'm going to drop these guys back here. I'm going to try and kill that MDS with a blue streak Smokescreen combo. I'm going to chuck a Rook decoy in as soon as I can. I'm going to try and hit Galvatronus a little bit. So I'm going to start hitting that Megatronus MDS, and I'm going to try and pop those outposts. Right, we've got the Megatronus MDS. I think the thing now is probably going to be Shield Gen, but we are out of ability points, and you can see with Gears, because Gears is so effective, or Quake, because they are so effective at ensuring that the things die that they hit with glass gas destruction. I'm going to hit that missile silo because that's going to start causing problems. We're going to drop Megatronus down as well because he will start absorbing some of that pain. And any second now, Tazzy's ability is going to be back up to 6, so I'm going to give him Alpha Swipe and try and melt them a little bit using that. Guys are not doing too badly. Let's just wait for those outposts to pop. So we've got, who's that? We've got Demolisher there. So Demolisher is about to ruin my day. by doing that. What I'm going to do is rush Grimlock in here. So that... Hey Twilight, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming, mate. We're just doing some front-loaded base action. Where I'm doing it no biner with a combination of different bots, combination of different strategies. So this is kind of a Charge of the Light Brigade, full frontal. Actually looks like bots are going to do it. I appreciate not everybody out there is running a team of 5-star generals that are all broadly maxed. And so that might look far easier than it really is in reality. What I can do, I can't even really show you what it would look like with lesser bots, because my lesser bots are a lot less. But let's take a look at it. So we'll go back to Grimlock's Brain. I'll show you how that would look with a group that are not quite so experienced, let's say. So let's just keep those guys where it is. Let's clear that off. And what I'm going to do is take similar team, less capable. So we'll take SG Jetfire. We'll take Ratchet. We'll take, where's my 4-star Taz Kid? So I've only been playing this game for about 18 months. So my lower starred bots have just not had the love that I know some of the longer term sort of veteran players would have given theirs. And so they're just not as good. So these guys are going to die really quickly. Who am I looking for? Probably looking for Blue Streak. And then who else have we got? So I am just going to chuck a couple of 5-stars in just to keep them alive. I'll chuck Beast Wars Ironhide in there just for fun. So hard battle. I do think Beast Wars Ironhide has got a part to play in front-loaded bases. So this one of Grimlock's Brain is slightly unusual in that it's quite prolonged. But we're going to try a similar strategy, and I'll show you what I mean about these spider bots just killing people from the off. So that is Grimlock right up there. See, Tazzy's already dead purely from the spider mines. I'm going to hit Overload special ability, and I'm just going to try and use Beast Wars Ironhide. I'm going to try and pop those. Blue Streak's already dead. I'm going to rush. I've lost Beast Wars Ironhide too. Oh man, and we are almost out of ability points. I don't even know what combat I've got on SG Jetfire, but he's dead. So this is just to illustrate that if you are not running a top level squad on something that I've made look really easy there with a bunch of generals and a little bit of experience both in my brain and in their muscles, this goes south very quickly on that full frontal, because you're just coming up against such a mass of DPS and secondary abilities. So you can see what I mean. The outpost bots are triggered. We've now got 2 5-stars against a team of 5-stars. So let's not whip that horse. Yeah.
Every time I look into a monitor, Prime, my circuits sizzle.
So what I'm going to now show you is Soundquake 2.2. Soundquake 2.2. Again, mate, I'm sorry for running at your base publicly without asking you. I hope you take it as a mark of respect. This is what I would call the master front-loaded base. And the reason for that is you've got a nightmare the minute you step onto the runway. An absolute nightmare. So you've got outposts all the way along the periphery. So wherever you put a bot, you're going to trigger somebody. You've got spider mines, which are going to vampire you of lots of health. I would imagine he's put missile launchers front loaded, yep, which he has, and they are extremely well developed. One of them with target protocol, one of them with health, so self-repair, and you've got classic MDS and Micronus MDS, Megatronus MDS and Micronus MDS there, with then Solus. That's going to be hard to kill anyway, but the Solus is just going to drop more and more and more things that are just going to ruin your day. So we've got a bit of a challenge on our hands here, even with gears, because everything is pretty well stacked against us. What I'm going to start by doing is running gears back here. So I'm going to stick gears right at this point on the runway, see how he does, and see how quickly we then need to use the rest of the team. Sound quite to make your binaries active by the look of it, so I'm guessing that's going to be Lyokaiser or Galvatronus. And then for the second run, assuming we die, I'm going to drop gears here, and we're going to try flanking maneuver on you and see if that works. Again, all the juicy resources up in the north, so take a battle boost that is going to allow you to at least give you guys a bit of an opportunity to survive. I'm not going to take that squad. I am going to take gears. I am going to switch out. So I sometimes do this when it looks like I'm going to have to hit like the trenches straight away when we drop everybody. I switch out my typical war squad because I'm not really going to need to pop any outposts. What I am going to need to do is distract combiners and distract outpost bots, and Chromia's ability is really, really good for that. Blue Streak, I'm going to swap out for SG Jetfire, who is marginally more survivable and has far higher DPS on the ground. And if I use his ability with Pinpointer, that's going to give him full health straight away. I'm going to get rid of Air Raid because I'm just not going to need him in this situation. I'm going to swap him for Overload to give us that anti-hack and using his maxed out special ability. And I'm going to keep Smokescreen because he's my best bot, essentially. Right, let's do this. Let's see how this rolls. You could also use Beast Wars Ironhide here. That would be quite interesting to do, which I'm going to do next. I'm also just going to check the live stream on YouTube. Yeah. Cool. It looks like we're all okay. But you never can tell. Never can tell. Right. Here we go. I'm just going to bring the OBS back up. Right. So I'm going to start by dropping gears down here. Not going to drop anybody else. And we are just going to hope and pray that we can get enough done and kill off enough things that want to kill us before he gets within the proximity to trip either the outpost bot or anything else. Now, this is what I mean about the fact that you can use Gears' ability without it actually being within the radius of contact. So he is now just auto-targeting stuff far beyond the range that he would normally be able to do. He's also an outpost bot killer, because if the outpost bot take his missiles to the face, they will die pretty quickly. So as you can see, even on this incredible base, this front-loaded base, Quake and Gears are game changers, absolute game changers. Now, I've had to trip the outpost bot, but it hardly matters at this point. I'm going to give myself a bit of food by hitting my Titan up here. Also, assuming you're all running Titans, I'm going to drop my Megatronus here just to give us some cover. And now I'm going to drop everybody, and I'm going to drop Chromia's ability right on top of that Biner. I'm going to hit that Megatronus MDS. As suspected, it's Lyokaiser, so let's give him some overload cover. But in a second, what you're going to see is the outpost bot. It's dead already, but it would have been very, very focused on that. That thing there is Chromia's special ability at work. And so you can see that by using gears to soften the base up, even on a base as intimidating and as brilliant as Soundquake 2.2's, even with a relatively weak squad, or even like quite an innovative squad like this one, you could cause a lot of damage really rather quickly. And although we are losing bots a little, we've tripped all the outposts, all the damage is done, and we are going to win. So I'm going to move it on. And that's no biner. So that is the tactic with gears. We're just going to try that same run on Soundquake, and I'm going to try it from a flank.
I got better things to do tonight than die.
So we're going to run the same squad, and you see normally bots like Chromia, who I love, they're very, very fast because they're scout bots, same as Wheelie, same as Rustus, same as Bumblebee. They have a very fast walk speed. So they are going to charge into metal death straight away. In this instance, they can kind of do that. And Chromia's ability is brilliant for a front-loaded base because it's going to make all the outpost bots and the Biner focus right in on the beacon that she drops, while your bots are just malleting them and everybody else around them. You know, red sky at night, firefight. Red sky in the morning, firefight. So I'm going to drop gears down here. This is going to be slightly hairy because we are right near the outpost bot. As you can see, he's taking a lot more punishment here because he's in much closer proximity to that missile silo. So be prepared to drop a medic. But you can see, look, he's manoeuvred himself off the pan. So he is moving himself out of danger. He's just fired off Stylor's ability, which is going to blind whatever it hits. You know, we range there. And I've hit a flare mine. So I'm just going to deploy Wheeljack because that could hurt me for quite some time. But what I'm going to do, so we've got Transmetal Megs there. He's just going to flame grill me like a fucking whopper. But also, poor old Megs is about to take some gears to the face. Because I'm just going to continue to use his ability here. Wheeljack is doing his business. Nothing is targeting Wheeljack at the moment. And I'm going to hit this up for a bit of extra bot food using my Titan. What you can also do with gears, which is rather fun, so Transmetal Megs, dangerous bot, you can designate him. So he's just taken a face full of glass gas and he's about to get the full force of Gears' special ability fired into his head. And as you can see, he doesn't last terribly long when that happens. Gears, on the other hand, because he's got the Amalgamous core on, is doing pretty goddamn well. Wheeljack is keeping him alive. There's very little other danger for him at the moment, apart from the fact that we are running out of ability points. So I'm going to hit that up there. I'm going to use my Titan Strike as well. And that should... No, it hasn't. And we are 1 point off using Megatronus, so I'm just going to drop him there just to absorb some pain. See, we are back in business with Gears, and Gears will now take out the MDS, leaving a corridor for these guys. We're not going to drop Minerva's special ability just yet, because we've only got sort of 3 to go. I'm going to drop that down there. Triptychon is about to die. I'm going to charge Grimlock. Can't really. Normally I'd quite like to charge Grimlock down there. Overload is currently out of action, so that is a bit of a worry, but not anymore. Because we're now going to cover everybody from a hack point of view, thereby negating Lyokaiser's ability. We're going to give Lyokaiser a bit of a smokescreen action. And even though we've not got many ability points left, we're We've got a minute left. This is one of the things that I would say is a big note of caution when using gears. You can kind of get drawn into the sight on gears. You can kind of sit back and marvel at your own brilliance. So there we are, no biner from the flank. A little bit more hairy, but still absolutely doable. So we've done neutralizing using TAS. We've done several showing you how gears can work. Is there anything anybody would like to see? So I am going to go to Turpeo, who's also got a very impressive front-loaded base just here. Again, very different because what Tops has done here has traditionally put the HQ at the back and delegated some of his armaments into the north, but put the lion's share of them down here in the south. And so, you know, it's a front-loaded base, not quite as intense as the one we've just done. But what I'm going to show you here is how Brainstorm and like SG Jetfire could be used in tandem with TAS to negate a lot of this opening pain with the spider mines. And have we got any missile silos yet? We've got a pretty good missile silo there. So let's just try this with some different bots, a bit of Grimlock. We'll take Rook, sort of trad starters, but I'm going to swap that out now for Brainstorm. Big salute to you, Monster. You've been teaching me about using Brainstorm. I'll use SG Jetfire as well, just for the double, very expensive bot situation. And then we will go from there. I'm just going to make sure that that's all coming through okay. Yeah, all looking good. And who else? We are going to take... Let's take Beast Wars Ironhide. Beast Wars Ironhide, not a trad kind of war bot, but one that I'm really interested in using because he can be a great initiator for Brainstorm and for Air Raid because he's got range. He's a bit pipesy, he's a bit Grimlocky, he's a bit kind of Armada, Scavenger. He's a bit sort of tanky, but he is quite squishy if you don't get the right setup for him, which I'll show you mine in a second. And then we're going to take some medics, so Ratchet and Wheeljack, who I've just swapped Minerva for. We'll take Primer for the DPS. I would recommend any of the primes really, depending on your playstyle for a front-loaded base. Megs is going to help you absorb a load of pain. Solus is going to heal you a bit, and Primer is going to give you big DPS. Alchemist, big reveal coming on Wednesday, so come along to my Such Your Own Nonsense show on Wednesday, and I'm going to walk you through Alchemist so that you can see what you're getting with that. Right, let's go.
Get your noodle out of my face! Me, Grimlock, love Cubs war stories!
So, we're going to drop Grimlock to take some pain. And then back here, we're going to do SG Jetfire, Brainstorm, and Beast Wars Ironhide. None of whom have the range to initiate what Brainstorm has just done. So I'm going to rush Beast Wars Ironhide in to try and kill off that MDS. But as you can see, with some of these more expensive bots, it's already becoming quite expensive. However, Beast Wars Ironhide has done his business. He's done what we needed him to do. His health is climbing back up. Brainstorm is a bit of a worry. We're going to take out that. So the missiles, whilst they are a relatively weak construct by way of the actual physical structure, they will die fast. They will also kill fast. Right, we're going to drop Primer down here just to up everybody's DPS and feel his presence. You can see there the devastating effect of that glass gas from Beast Wars Ironhide. I've got Cockle that I can do against this hack that Lyokaiser's just given me. I don't know who he's done it against. If it was Grimlock, which it's highly likely it was, then he's wasted his ability because Grimlock's all leaged up. Beast Wars Ironhide has also got Forge of Soulless Prime on him. I'm going to rush him in again because that seemed to work quite well. In fact, let me show you the Brainstorm Beast Wars Ironhide combo. So Brainstorm in, Beast Wars Ironhide in. Now watch this. Boom. And then everybody gets a big old dose of glass gas, which is, pretty good fun. So bots are going to walk this. Again, no biner. I'm going to drop Wheeljack's special ability there just to make them faster and more dangerous. I'm going to drop Primer's special ability so we focus in on that HQ. And I'm going to smash the HQ with Beast Wars Ironhide just to finish it off. So you can see there a very mixed squad, no gears, a very competent, difficult front-loaded base. But again,
I got better things to do tonight than die.
So I think we're probably coming to the end of what's been a very fun live stream. I want to just put a big thank you out to the people in my lines, Buster, Turpio, Soundquake22, Grimlock's Brain. You are colleagues. I have huge respect for your experience and your time in the game. I hope you do not mind me demonstrating some tactics on your bases. If you do, I'll owe you a pint if we ever meet in real life, and you can punch me in the face, maybe. But that is a quick talk-through on ways in which we might start thinking about dealing with front-loaded bases. Bottom line is, missile launchers are going to kill you really quickly. If you've got a concentration of spider mines at the front, they're going to kill you really quickly. If you've got gears or quake, then you are golden because they deal normal damage. If you are thinking about using anything fire related, be prepared for there to be lots and lots of fire cores around the place. If you are going to be using things like acid, there doesn't seem to be a big prevalence of acid cores around in the same way that fire cores are, but they are there. Same with the cryo cores. So cryo cores, slightly problematic in that I use Computron a lot in the offensive, and therefore Computron is almost entirely strengthened by the elemental cryo damage, particularly for his blizzard sort of main effort, which I like to use to really sort of push me over the edge when I'm in top wars and things like that. I would say to you, front-loaded bases are there to put you under pressure. They are there to make your OODA loop, your observation, orientation, decision, and action loop pressurized. They are there to make you sweat. They are there to give you adrenaline. They are there to worry you. What I've tried to show you here is ways in which that you can alleviate that worry by giving you breathing space. Go into bullet time. Click on the special ability, look around. Time spent in reconnaissance, never wasted. Spend time thinking about how you're going to deal with various bits of it. Prioritize the defenses, prioritize the missiles, then start thinking about what your plan is for the MDS while you bots take the pain. Make sure you have at least one tank on a front-loaded base. Do not just run with your normal war squad. You need to think about who is going to absorb the pain and who is going to give the pain and who is going to fix the pain. It is not like a traditional kind of walk base where you've got a resource-heavy front portion and then a dangerous southern portion. You're going to want a different synergy of bots where you've got initial assault and softening, investment with high DPS, and tanks to absorb whatever pain is left for you. Probably liege up front so that you can hack outpost bots. Probably something that can prevent Lio Kaiser or Computron from ruining your day. But that, ladies, gents, and everybody else who are always welcome at my stream, is a quick, I'm not going to say masterclass because I am no master, but it's a quick class, quick walkthrough on front-loaded bases. If you've enjoyed this, can I please ask you to like, share, subscribe, come and join me on Discord. I'm learning how to use Discord more. I'm building up the Ultra Pittus Such Heroic Nonsense Discord community as we speak. Tell your friends, tell your alliances. And I have been Ultra Pittus. This has been a Such Heroic Nonsense production. You can catch the Such Heroic Nonsense show on Wednesday, where we are going to be talking about this guy, Alchemist Prime, otherwise known as McAdam, who is a demigod bartender who decided to forego the life of Prime and 10 bar on Cybertron. Who doesn't love that? So on Wednesday night, you can join me from 6 o'clock UK time or 7 o'clock UTC. And I'll put up some other different places, times, so that you all know where that is, where you are. But come and join me for a big show and tell on Alchemist Prime. I will have the playtest account fully up and running, and we can put him through his paces and see whether or not this is a Prime that you want to invest in. But on the face of it, I'm seeing elemental damage, disable, I'm seeing health, I'm seeing DPS, and he's got a moustache and really cool glasses. So just on the basis of that, that is a Prime that I want to entertain in my war teams. I hope this has been useful. I've had a blast. Big salute to everyone in my alliance and everyone who's come to watch this. I'm Ultra Pittus.
Such heroic nonsense.
Good night, everyone.
Such heroic nonsense.
If this doesn't stop it, nothing will.
Such heroic nonsense. What's that darn fool doing?
Believe it or not, this is the fun part.
All alive.
State your business.
Your bargaining posture is highly dubious.
Get on with the ceremony!
New Decepticon shenanigans in your area? Ultra Magnus, a cursory evaluation of Decepticon capability indicates a distinct tactical deficiency.
Unicron, why did you torture me?
there, kid.
Spare me this mockery of justice.
Light our darkest hour.
No sign of